Sup? So, as some of you know, I'm really into art. That could be music, paintings, drawings, the list goes on. So, I thought, why not explore a little of history of art? And that's what I'm gonna do. My point in this video is to explore art and its history, and also my predictions for the future of this kind of media. Without any further ado, let's start the video. So, when talking about the beginning of art, we need to go a little while back. Back when we were just monkeys with slightly bigger brains. Back then, we just kinda drew and carved things on caves really. And we call this prehistoric art. We used engravings, stone carvings, tiny sculptures, and natural pigments like oil to recreate things we saw. Things such as animals and objects and just about anything we saw in the wild. There is one famous example of this kind of art, and it is that of a Paleolithic cave painting found in a cave in France. They were discovered in 1940, and they're estimated to be 20,000 years old, depicting large animals and vegetation. Next we have Asian art. The biggest difference is that this type of art was made by more advanced cultures. Cultures with an established written language or form of writing. These societies are, for example, Ancient China, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece and Rome. These Asian cultures also have sculptures and paintings, but now they represented more sophisticated subjects, if you will. They would tell stories, usually about religion, their gods and rulers, social status, and decorations for bowls and weapons. One of the most famous pieces of this time could be a work from ancient Mesopotamia, which is the Code of Hammurabi, created around 1792 before Christ. This piece bears Babylonian set of laws carved in stone, complemented by an image of King Hammurabi, the 6th king of Babylonia, and the Mesopotamian god Shamash. This all happened before the year 400, and after that, art was just kind of the same, mostly biblically accurate and religious stuff. The next big evolution, however, happened after 1400, from which came the Renaissance, Baroque, Rococo, Romanticism, and many more. In this time in history, the point was to embrace humanity. With a huge appreciation for realism and the anatomy of our bodies, it was a time full of amazing discoveries in terms of art. We learned how to do color theory, artificial shadows, and even used geometry to create accurate and symmetrical paintings. It was in this time where big names in history of art were born, such as Da Vinci, who made Mona Lisa, Caravaggio, who created David with the head of Goliath, Anthony Watteau, who created the Italian comedians, and there's so many of them, we might as well be here all week talking about it. But who cares about realism, am I right? Because next we get into the abstract era. For who doesn't know, abstract is a visual language that uses shapes, forms, colors and lines to create a composition which may exist with a degree of independence from visual reference in the world. So basically, whatever you think it means, you are right. Personally, this is one of my favorite art styles ever, because leaving us with our own interpretation leaves us so much room for connection with the artwork. This is a time where we don't mean to create something super realistic, but more simple yet complex imagery that makes us feel emotions lying deep inside of us. A time where paintings were done for the viewer. And we achieve that by using saturated colors and disfigured ones. Humans usually look deformed in a way or another, or made out of shapes like triangles, squares, or weirder ones. As some examples, we have Henri Matisse, who created Woman with a Hat, Edvard Munch, The Dance of Life, Georges Braque, Violin and Palette, and René Magritte, The Son of a Man. This one is the one that hits me the hardest. Even though it is considered abstract, there is a meaning that the painter saw in this, which is conformity. The way we need to hide our true selves to be accepted socially and professionally. We've all struggled with this at some points in our life before. Some handle it better than the others. But whether you've come to terms with it or not, I think we can all relate to this image at some capacity. And that's the beauty of it. And finally, we reach the current days. Right now, we're in the time where most art is digital. Paintings and sculptures are a thing of the past. Of course, there's still people who do it, but the point still stands. We live in a digital world. And it's not so bad. We still get a lot of amazing art and talented people. Here's some art from people I follow. But with technology, we got something that I personally consider the second coming of Christ, which is animations. That's right, with technology, we now manage to create stuff like cartoons, anime, video games, and all sorts of animations. And I gotta say, there's nothing like a good animation. Especially if the people creating it are as passionate about it as you are. Some forms of animation I'm quite into right now are Jujutsu Kaisen, Regular Show,
Good luck making your prank calls now!
Hell of a Boss,
Wait, this is me, Barry. Remember what you taught us? Think before you act.
and Hollow Knight. All of them are examples of beautiful pieces of media created in the present. So personally, I'm quite happy with that. Oh, and as for the future, well, with the new rising of AI, as an artist, I'm certainly scared, and it worries me. But I'm more scared for people who do art for a living, and live in constant fear that it may replace them. But who knows? The future is uncertain. Artists aren't big fans of AI art, especially people who say this is real art. But there's good things with AI as well, I'm sure. But we just don't know the future. As you can see, our species has gone through a lot in terms of art. And every step of the way, it was as important as the last one. Improving ourselves every generation as we evolve. Because art is everywhere, whether you like it or not, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon. Humans are a creative creature, and we should cherish that the best we could.